low, if you are fortunate and or unfortunate enough to have a traumatic experience on psychedelics, a psychotic break, a major meltdown of some kind, you will be in pivotal flux. You will be in a state that could lead to an enormous level of self-replicating pain, an enormous level of transformation and growth and insight and new identity, and or both. That's why I say fortunate or unfortunate. I don't know what I am, fortunate or unfortunate. I just observed that in the 2 years since the broken trust, since the betrayal, since all of the enormous confusion, pain, and breakdown from my psychedelic therapist, lying, betraying, leaving me in this dissociated state, and then blaming me, as is often the case when the rescuer, when the practitioner does not have the skill, does not have the ability to show up. The helplessness and the inadequacy that they feel is often too great for them to carry. And so, blaming the victim, shaming the victim, abandoning the victim, you, me, another, becomes a survival strategy for others that do not know how to deal with the terrain. This is, of course, profoundly destructive, but it leads to this precipice, this crisis of, will the wound lose its consciousness and become a snowballing wound that crashes out into the culture, giving back without our conscious interference the pain and the wound that was given to us as a mirror, giving it back, giving that gift. The mirror that says, this is who you are. I'm just the mirror. Or will you bring your gift back by bringing in your consciousness into the state of the wound, learning about the wound, teaching the wound, bringing the wound back to those that gave it to you in a more understandable and gentle form to digest. They did give you this wound. It needs to be given back. The question is, does it need to be given back as a snowball, with you parroting and replicating all the hate, ignorance, hostility, and brutality that was done to you, mentally, emotionally, physically, in some mix, on some dimension? Or can you give it back with the compassion, with the caring, with the consciousness that helps them see at a dose level that they can comprehend, that they cannot, that they can digest and start working with? This is the question. We are part of a natural ecology. We are all part of it. Every part of our humanity is serving a purpose. Some people enter this terrain and go out and shoot people. And that serves a purpose. It wakes the culture up. Oh, maybe there is actually a problem. Maybe we can't just change the TV channel and pretend that it will go away. They are serving a purpose by reflecting the level of hostility going towards them back in a form that cannot be ignored. Because we are in a culture that just writing in diaries and this and that actually is shamed and ignored. So there is a place for every human being, as teacher, as student, as healer, as patient, as the one carrying the wound, as the one bringing love to the wound that is carried. And there is no better position. And this is important to understand as you find yourself roaming, perhaps wildly and erratically steering your vehicle of egoic consciousness through the vast multiverse of who you are, dark and light, beautiful, beautiful, and deformed, healthy and sick. As you find yourself sitting through perhaps switching roles, the perpetrator, the victim, the seer, the one lost in confusion, the teacher, the student. A lot of it is honest assessment about capacity. Do you have the capacity to be present near someone at this time? Or do you just need to be completely away from it all? Do you have the capacity to help someone in need? Or is that just one more source of despair? It's a complex, puzzling, sorting and sifting that is going on. As the rift in your normal consciousness seeks integrity, seeks integration to mend itself back together and find some narrative, dark or light, that is consistent. Now this is where you play an enormous role. Will it mend together in a bottom line that says no one can be trusted? Or will it mend together in a bottom line that says everything can be trusted to take me deeper into myself, to show me another face of who I am? Will it knit together in a line that says I never want to feel those emotions again? Or will it knit together in a bottom line that says the next time I go into this pit of despair, I will know what I'm dealing with. I will have resources. I will bring my sword to rent the veil and let light into this pit, to bring my darkness back into my light, to bring my light deep into my darkest pit, and know that I am doing your work for you. This is sacred work. The untethered, unmapped, uncharted regions of the human psyche is the Western frontier, is the hope for the future, is where all the lost resources that we most desperately need reside. And there will be fatalities. When we moved westward as a nation, many died, many more were robbed, many were tricked, abused, etc., and fell along the way. But the culture grew Maps of the unknown terrors and the unknown beauties became maps of resources. The culture, the country, the world grew. Now, I cannot say the role that you will play, but it will be a significant role. It will be an important role. As truth teller, as one less willing to believe the narrow beam focus narrative of reality and embrace a bigger story, as someone with more humility, as someone with ugly truths or beautiful or both to tell, that are outside the normal cultural narrative, that remind us that the reality that we know and accept in our lineal left brain is far smaller than the reality that is. A reminder that we need to go out there and start exploring more consciously. I honor you on that path.